Thanks all. Okay, I am your moderator for this excellent panel. Coming up next, we're going to be discussing multiple ways to retrofit, build, and save for commercial buildings using both conservation with some generation renewable thrown in. My name is Mary English. I am the Building Performance Program Manager at Metropolitan Energy Center, a 40-plus-year-old non-for-profit in the Kansas City area that specializes in both transportation efficiency and building efficiency, building performance, building science, and so on. One quick note, Kim Ansari was down with the flu this morning, so unfortunately she had to cancel last minute. However, she is a Metropolitan Energy Center board member, and we have presented on her slides together in the past, so I'm going to muddle through a little bit because she has a really great case study, so I'll be doubling a little bit of speaker, but for the most part, I'm going to be moderator and helping the Q&A portion with the audience. So let's get started. Edward Schmidt, MCR Performance Solutions, you are going to kick us off, so I'll let you introduce yourself.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, all, good afternoon. Again, Ed Schmidt with MCR Performance Solutions, and if I advance the slide, perfect. I am here to sort of go to 30,000 feet with you all and set the stage for some case study field level work from my colleagues to my right. So again, 30,000 foot policy view. First thing I want to do is take 30 seconds and give you a commercial about us. Most of you, if not all of you, have no idea who MCR is. This is MCR. MCR Performance Solutions is a 25-ish year old boutique management consultancy based outside of Chicago, virtual office model. I came in from New Hampshire last night, and we are very much utility fixing. We work exclusively with utilities, co-ops, joint action agencies, G&Ts, those sorts of folks. We generally avoid customer facing in the trenches work or construction oriented work. We are on, as you see here, 6 very well defined lanes. I am a director in the energy products and services practice, working hand in glove with my regulatory folks, as well as, excuse me, my strategic and financial folks. What I'm here to talk about today, again, from that 30,000 foot level, is this study. MCR was engaged by the American Gas Foundation to take a deep dive look into the current state and future potential of gas energy efficiency. For those of you that are electric folks, trust me, I've made this fuel neutral to the extent I possibly can, because a lot of what I say from a policy perspective is relevant. And if you're an advocate or of that ilk, I can assure you I'm going to have some things in here that actually resonate positively with you. And yes, I should offend everyone. So read that study. That's how you can really get offended or tickled. Here's what we did. We looked at the current state of EE for about 20 utilities, took a deep dive into the publicly available data. We did a market scan on the internet of another 70 gas utilities. Then we put together a case study to look at cost effectiveness. Cost effectiveness. From a current state perspective, which would be your California standard practice manual tests, if you know that. And then we looked again from a future state perspective, funneling in a lot of the stuff that you see in the national standard practice manual, including policy alignment and emphasis on non-energy benefits. Then we did a forward-looking reading of the tea leaves. Here are 6 trends. I'm not going to speak to all of them that we pulled out of this report. And again, I think this is very much fuel blind. It should resonate from electric or gas perspectives. I am a nut about the National Standard Practice Manual. What's happening with the way we do cost effectiveness in energy efficiency as utilities is rapidly changing, and the scope of that is rapidly expanding to just about all of utility planning. So be aware of it. The funding, I don't even want to talk about because who knows? Codes, standards, and that sort of thing are a big, big deal for utilities because you've got this tension. I think we heard a little of it this morning between affordability from the customer perspective and where's the headroom for us to get energy efficiency savings above those baselines. I think the education, workforce development, equity issues, most, if not all of us, know what's going on in that space and how important it is. Likewise, the climate perspective, whether you're in a less climate, perhaps intensively focused state as Missouri, or you're in a obsessed state like Massachusetts, where I flew out of, climate's a big deal. So here's what we said to our utility friends. Again, we had a gas audience primarily, and we apply that now thinking fuel neutral. You got to partner with people if you're a utility and you're running EE. You've got to be involved and understand and engage the processes by which cost effectiveness is changing. The equity, low mod income, micro business sectors are incredibly important, thinking about this panel in particular with the commercial. Geo-targeting is a big deal, not only to get energy savings from those hard to reach segments, but also to provide system relief for the utility from the utility's infrastructure perspective. And I will leave it there, other than to say, hey, we're utility consultants, and it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, where you are. Utilities are businesses, so we have to keep the issue of financial integrity in mind. So if you're a gas guy, and this is my last slide, and then I'm going to sit down so we can move on to having a panel discussion. What do you have to do? What do you think about if you're a gas guy? Policy, what's going on with spending, how it varies between yourself and your neighbor. The Ameren folks, which side of the river you're on makes a huge difference. How do you handle the new technologies? What do you do? We like to say on number 4 here, it's not about the test, it's about what's in the test. So think about the parameters. And then think about, this is obviously a gas bias because that's who paid me in this case. Think about all the benefits gas provides, not only from an avoided gas perspective, but also really importantly, how does gas and gas energy efficiency bolster reliability, resilience, and affordability for the electric side? And with that, I will turn it over to my colleague.